What up, everybody, for another rendition of Fast and Tierious. Today, I am with Christopher Barnett, the CEO and founder of WORQFLOW. Claim to fames are things like got to diamond in 10 months. He's a HubSpot certified trainer, only advisor at Council, the head of the Houston user group for the Hug. And if you didn't know this, what I'm most excited about, other people might not be. What I'm most excited about is he also won the 10K Super competition. If you have not seen that, it's wicked awesome. Use Happily and Super together to do something pretty darn cool. Christopher, welcome to Fast and Tierious. Excited to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I get this like big thing. You're like, thank you. Okay, I like it. Okay. And if you haven't seen it, he can kick a soccer ball at a camera really well and be able to hit it.
That's my other claim to fame. Add that to the list. Check that one
out. Christopher, thank you for being here today. I really love learning all the different journeys of HubSpot Partners because they're all a bit different. I love you've gone from in 10 months to diamond. Before we get into like how you did that, the obstacles to overcome that, what your big bets are in the future, I want to. How did you get started in HubSpot? How did you decide to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this crazy thing, bet the house on becoming and running a business in the HubSpot ecosystem"?
Yeah, it's a good question. So my backstory was I was working for a professional soccer club here in Houston, and I was managing a pretty large account after I'd retired. And I found that there was a lot of opportunity for me to develop a real skill set and expertise around this platform called HubSpot. And so with that, I transitioned to a job in oil and gas because I'm in Houston. And then COVID hit and I started working remotely. And I found that I was a lot more productive with my time at home. And so I started filling my time with freelance consulting. And within 6 months, I was one of the top HubSpot experts on the freelance market. And then a year later, I was one of the top freelance HubSpot experts in the world. And I was finding that my clients and my customers needed a lot more than just HubSpot configuration. And that's where like my entry to both the HubSpot Solutions Partner Program and the world of RevOps really began, was starting a business, kind of going all in on HubSpot because we understood where the platform was going and the customer market that they were going after. And we, hitched to that wagon, and the rest is history. Here we are.
That's incredible. So you started as what platform was that? Was that Upwork or Fiverr, or were you? Is Upwork?
Yep. Yeah, Upwork.
I'm interested as we get through this is, do you still use Upwork as a lead gen vehicle? Just as a point, that's just a cool thought as you're going through that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool story. So were you pro soccer?
I was. Yeah.
This feels like a whole nother episode on a whole nother podcast, but so you're a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
Going to managing a soccer team in some capacity. You're in Houston. You make a complete pivot to do oil and gas. You have a side job in freelance. You start getting good and getting really good ratings, become top in the country and then the world in Upwork for HubSpot. And then you start WORQFLOW. I'm gonna make sure I got that right.
Yeah, no, that's the timeline is exactly right.
That's kind of cool. So if you're looking back, right, so now you're diamond, and this time you went from untiered, entered the partner, like it became a HubSpot partner, tiered to diamond. Tiering's really just a proxy to understand, like, in some capacity, something of success on how HubSpot measures it. How did where are you at today in terms of revenue and employees? And I'm going to go track about how you like your obstacles in getting there.
Yeah. Revenue and employees, our full-time team is about 10 people right now, full-time. We've got a bench of contractors, covering different areas. So like, I would say everyone that works on a client, somewhere in the range of like 20 to 30 people. Revenue is just under 4 million about right now. And so we're looking to, increase that 2 to 4x within the next couple of years, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see. But yeah, it's been a wild ride because officially we started in July of 2021, and here we are like 2.5 years later. It's insane.
Wow. Yeah, that's you think of like SaaS like growth, and it's, if you were to hit in 2 years or a year and you hit close to 3 million, you're in the top 0.1%. And so to have a service company grow that, that's an exceptional amount of growth right now. What do you think was as you were looking back, and there's lots of obstacles, but what was, you say, your secret sauce? If you were to 3 pointers of another partner that was coming through, what helped you think through hiring, supply and demand, generating rev? Like there's all these different things you have to tackle. What helped you, like first principles, help you make decisions as you're thinking through all these things?
Yeah, I would say first principle is like if I think about it now is rev ops yourself. The more you can rev ops your own business, the better off you'll be in the long run. And so there's a common theme across all service providers, which is like you are your last customer on your list. Like usually you do like a poor job of marketing yourselves in comparison to your customers. You do a poor job of pretty much like your own CRM is kind of a disaster to a certain degree. And so the more that you can rev ops yourselves from the get-go and design for the end state, the better. And so there's a couple of facets in that. And one of them is focus on solution selling. And that's kind of like the thing that I really live and breathe by. And that was a lot of the inspiration behind our super pitch was how can we craft a solution that solves the pain points now and propels the customer to where they want to be. So thinking about that, like that end state, that North Star goal, how do we design the solution that gets that customer to that state that they can go and then grow their revenue and scale their business to where they want to get it to? So yeah, a couple of things is rev ops yourself, focus on solution selling, right? Provide solutions up front and think about that, journey from start to finish.
I like the idea. I think this is harder said than done.
Yeah.
I try a lot of helping people create solutions. It's like it's a lot of what we're thinking about with Super.
Yep.
Period. It is difficult and I think it's actually really scary, more than difficult, scary to create a solution, because a solution inevitably means that you're saying it doesn't solve other problem sets. How did you work through the problem sets you wanted, like the solutions that you were going to say core to my business? And how did you think through that problem? I will not do everything, but I will do some things really well.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of prioritizing your problems into, are they people related? Are they process related? Or are they, platform related? Those are kind of the three main pillars that we analyze whenever we're thinking about how do we design a solution that can stand the test of time. Many times when we think about, well, that doesn't solve, the complete use case. It's like, well, are you designing for edge cases? It's like, if that's the case, like that should not fit into your roadmap because edge cases are not going to take you to that North Star goal, right? We want to focus on whatever that primary track is for that roadmap and squash those problems along the way, as well as give you a roadmap to help accelerate you to get there, right? So it's that revenue acceleration with that problem solving.
What would you say is your solution? So I know you showed something at Super, but which is a really cool CRM in the box for real estate that leverages Real City and Super to quickly deploy something. But what is that a solution, or like what is the solution that got you from that was important and strategic to you getting to where you're at now as a
Yeah.
diamond partner?
Our solution, I guess, for how we propelled from untiered to diamond was focusing on solution selling in the form of we have lots of customers that want to start out with, if they're brand new to a CRM, brand new to HubSpot, whatever it is, they just want to try like a sales pro, or they just want to try a marketing pro or a starter hub or stuff like that. And so when making that decision, it's thinking about, okay, well, is this software going to stand the test of time in the form of, if I had 10 new employees with different job roles, will this software support them? Will this software support me when I'm a $1 billion company? Will this software support me when I add new products or services? Asking those tough questions to figure out if you really plan on scaling and RevOpsing yourselves to the level that you can get to. Will your platform support that level of growth and scalability? Will your processes help support that scalability? More importantly, will the people that you have now be enabled by the platforms and processes to guide you to that scalability point?
People, process, platform, the 3 Ps. I hear that a lot as people are thinking through. What I think is interesting is when I say solutions, I was saying, hey, what are you selling to external clients? And then you said, without saying it was nice implicitly, like, Matt, that's helpful. But what really matters is selling them a framework in which to conquer any problem set. And so I'm hearing you think through, I'm selling a product. I'm going to do I even heard you say it. There's MVPs versus our initial launch versus do we need to solve edge cases later at what frequency?
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of wisdom to be done. Have a framework and go to market with a framework. Do you say
Yeah,
do you agree?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then, so there's other portions here: Certified Trainer Advisory Council, Houston User Group. If I was a new partner and you were thinking about all these, I mean, you're the word collection is too strong, but as you're gathering badges that help you go to market, what would you say? What would you invest in as a new partner very quickly? Would it be becoming a certified trainer, or is it to become a get involved with a user group? But how would you think about those two things with your time?
Yeah, it's a good question. If I am a new partner, I don't know if I would focus so much on the certified trainer program now. It's a lot of time to get that certification and a lot of input. And so, certified trainer really pays off when you're a bigger organization and running larger training groups. I would say it's more something along the lines of, invest in the HubSpot user groups, which are free. Kyle Jepson, shout out there, runs one of the best hugs, the admin hug, in existence. And so, lots of learning lessons there. Jen Nixon, another team member of mine, she runs the CMS and SEO HubSpot user group. And so the user groups are a great way to learn from those that are really involved in HubSpot on a day-to-day basis, that understand, the entire roadmap as well as the use cases. If there are edge cases that really need to be defined and factored in, those are great opportunities to talk to people that are in HubSpot working on edge cases on a daily basis.
It also gives you access to individuals inside HubSpot, the program. If you're able to step into a leadership one, it gives you access to people inside HubSpot you don't have access to.
Yeah.
Strong recommendation if you have a local to start participating in that. It's a great way to get your foot in the door and talk to end users as well.
Yeah.
So you are Diamond, 10 people, almost about to hit 4 million this year, if not, and we're ending the year. This is that's a very strong revenue per head count, and you have with contracts as well. So congratulations. What are your goals next year? What are you trying to achieve as you look for next year in 5 years? I mean, you may put like, I'm going to conquer the entire HubSpot. What are your goals?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Elite has been on my mind since before I even became a partner. I mean, when I learned about the tiering program, I was like, that I have to be in that upper echelon as soon as possible. And so, yeah, Elite is my number one. It's been on my mind for ages. And I mean, ask anyone here, they'll attest to that. Elite is a good one. I want to basically complete all the accreditations that HubSpot offers to their partners. Having each of those would be the final feather in the cap, and then something like Partner of the Year eventually would be amazing. I mean, I feel like we're doing amazing things along with other partners, and so it'd be great to be able to celebrate each of those accomplishments together. And so, yeah, Partner of the Year would be great. And it's like a 5-year goal, I would say, but just continuing to serve the RevOps community in the way that we are is the thing that I want to keep consistent overall over the next year and 5 years. I mean, we're doing the right things.
I was looking. I think y'all were on at some point you were on the Customer First Award as WORQFLOW, and I was looking at that and seeing if it was still there.
Yeah, we're in the rankings for Partner of the Year right now.
That's what it is. I was like, I know you were somewhere, and I was like, I've seen it.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Working on it.
Yeah. So just as a point, 2 years in the ecosystem, really, and that is number 18. And there are like names here I see: Blue Frog, Instrumental, New Breed, Blue Leads, Alma Fuse. So like congratulations. That's really cool to see you go to that.
Yeah,
so if you were to just, as you're passing down lessons learned from someone that's like doing this journey, what is one thing you would never do again? And we're going to follow up with what's one thing you wish you would have done earlier. But let's start with the first. What would you never do again?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I would never take shortcuts in order to grow my business again. It's very easy to pick the low-hanging fruit as a shortcut to solve an immediate pain point, but has much larger ripple effects long term.
What's an example of a shortcut that you would steer away from?
So, like not doing your entire due diligence before hiring an employee, like stuff like that makes a big difference. And so being very methodical has been my my MO lately is before I make any decisions, think about all of the possible ripple effects. How does this affect my end state? Things like that. and just thinking very carefully before I make decisions regarding business operations or new headcount, stuff like that. Because if you don't make the right choices in relation to who you bring on as part of your team, like it's one of the pillars of RevOps that we say is people. When you bring on the right people, it'll accelerate your revenue. When you don't, it hinders it massively.
You are not the first person on this show to say if thinking about doing it again is, and I know I've done this in the past, is I make gut feelings. And even when it's gut, still have a process and go through it always.
Yes.
And it's just, period.
Yeah.
What is one thing you wish you did earlier? And you could say, I wish I had a methodical XYZ first, but what's something you would like to pass on to other partners? You're saying, hey, please next do this thing earlier than I did it.
I wish I would have quit my full-time job earlier, because I was still doing both at the same time for a while. So there was a point we were July 2021 is when we officially started. I was still employed by my full-time job until November of 2021. So I would say my recommendation is take the jump like way earlier, because if you don't, you're never going to get that time back. And it's always going to be that opportunity cost that you're always going to think about. And I still think about it today. I'm like, man, if I had 4 months of like my full 100% dedicated time into the business, that would have made, think about where we'd be now. We'd be 4 months farther than where we are now, which could be elite, which could be, $6 million, whatever it is. And so take the jump, believe in yourself. If you really think that you have an opportunity to go after, whatever your aspirations are, and you want to build a business, believe in yourself and bet on yourself, more importantly, which means leave that full-time job and dive right in, man.
Burn the ships. It's scary. So I've heard it said this way: is you sail to a new continent, then you burn the ships, and you will be surprised at the potential unlocked in yourself when there is no path but forward.
That's right.
I think that's beautiful. What are you? Okay, so we're thinking about what are you most excited about going in as you're planning for this next year, but even in the next year. So we hear getting elite XYZ, but what's a big bet you're making that you're very excited about in the future?
Yeah, I'm very excited about right now specifically. And if I think about Q1, Q2, the partnerships that we have right now are the best that we've ever had. And I don't think I'm going to add any new partners to our portfolio for WORQFLOW right now. I think we have the perfect set of partners. We've been through like pretty much all partner programs with other tech companies that integrate with HubSpot, stuff like that. We've found the sweet spot right now. So I'm really excited about how HubSpot, you think about Inbounds 2023, it was very partner-led growth driven, meaning that if we want to swim up market, it's through our app partners, it's through our solutions partners. And I feel like the more that those two parties can collaborate on stuff like this and or deals and customers that we conquer together, that is the future that I'm very excited for. Because we think about the 10K pitch, winning stuff like that. Like we are already creating solutions that's involving all of the best partners that we have found to craft solutions for customers that help us swim up market and go after a sales vertical that HubSpot finds very, very difficult.
So what's your bet in the sense that we're going to chat again when you hit elite? How soon is that next chat going to occur?
Sooner than I think what you think. I think Christmas may be a good year, or Christmas may be a good holiday for us. So if all things tip over accordingly, I think Christmas will be fun.
I heard Santa's coming to WORQFLOW. Okay.
Santa, yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I'm on the good list.
Okay. So, well, Chris, I appreciate you talking about WORQFLOW. I think there's a lot of wisdom that you're giving here, and just as a quick swash and recap of some of these things you're able to give. It is solution selling matters. Have a framework in which how you sell, what you sell, that you're delivering, that your partners can interact with. This solution selling will allow you to actually create solutions for niches, and you'll be able to understand them long term. It is be methodical with all things, specifically when you're adding new people, as they represent often at the beginning 1/10, 1/5 of your culture, and they are something that can drive lots of value or be a drag. Burn the ships. Like, believe in yourself. It is okay, and if it doesn't work, then and it's okay. And then last is partnerships matter, and find some core partners. They will help you go to market faster, quicker. They will start bringing you into deals even as you become their preferred partner.
Yeah.
Chris, appreciate the time. If someone wants to talk to you afterwards, after here, besides traveling to Houston and going to a hug, if they're digital or in person, how can they find you and play soccer with you?
Play soccer with me. I got to come down to Houston and then we'll go play. Hit me up on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the best place to follow the stuff that I have coming up and coming, and follow WORQFLOW on LinkedIn. More importantly, there's lots of content coming out regarding solution selling and AI, and we are one of the pioneers at the forefront of that. So follow us there.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. Everybody stay awesome. Keep doing it big and stay super, everybody. Adios.